Hi. One last thing before tomorrow, before classes start tomorrow, before chaos starts tomorrow, and that is, I want you to have a mindset of practice, progress, not perfection. Um, Perfection is not an attainable goal, in my personal opinion. You can improve and you can excel, but perfection is a goal that I think sometimes we think that we should aim for. And while that's a great aim, you know, focus on the progress, focus on the wins that you're having, focus on the skills that you're learning, focus on the problem solving techniques that you're, acquiring. That's what I want you to practice. I want you to practice the progress and not perfection. Um, One of the things that we do here at Hocking College is that we have a Girls Who Code chapter, and Reshma Sajani, I may not be pronouncing her name correctly. One of her books that she came out with this past year was something called Brave Not Perfect. And that, for me personally, really resonated because, my, perfection is something that you kind of want to do. And you have to kind of step back and just realize you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to get it. You're not always going to get it right 100% of the time. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be errors. There's going to be bugs. And you just got to accept the fact and embrace that, and that the fact that you're practicing making progress, but you're not going to be perfect. And either in that book or another book, I can't recall, she was talking about girls who are in a coding lab, and when the teacher kind of comes around, there's nothing on their screen, like they've not written any kind of code. And what the teachers find out is that the girls are writing code, but they're erasing it before they then give it a chance to run because they think it's not going to be right. And the idea of having an error message or something's not right message is overwhelming them, so they don't even want to hit the run button or the preview or whatever it is. So my advice, that I often have to remind myself of as well, is to practice progress, not perfection. Um, you're growing, you're learning. I'm growing and I'm learning. This is a field. One of the things that I love about this field, and this is a field that's you constantly have room for improvement in. And you're not always going to know it all. There's no feasible way you can know it all. So, but you can improve. So, there's a quote. I didn't look it up, so bear with me if I fumble it. Aim for the moon, and even if you don't land on the moon, you'll fall among the stars. So I want you to practice progress, not perfection. A mindset. So in that, what I want you to focus on is practice, which means repetition, doing things over and over again, and until you start getting it. Progress. I want you to make progress. You start here, you make a step, and you end here, and iterate, repeat, repeat. I want you to make progress. I don't want you to get stuck on one particular thing and not make any kind of progress. Progress comes from practice. And again, I do not want you to focus on perfection. If you get a bug, you get a bug. If you get an error, you get an error. I get a lot of them. And there's a project that I'm working on, and I just, again, like I said, I have to remind myself to do this as well. There's a project I'm working on, and I was, using other resources online, Googling how to figure out how to do something, and it didn't exactly match up to what I was trying to do, and I didn't even try it. I was like, that's not gonna work. And it's still in the mindset of like the error message is going to come up, it's going to waste the time, yada yada. It's not going to work. And I kept looking up some other stuff, couldn't find anything else. So I was like, and then I realized what I was doing to myself. I was telling myself something's not going to work even before I tried it. So I went ahead and tried it, and then it worked. you know so it's something I really have to remind myself as well. And I want to make sure that you guys have a good understanding from that from day one. Your experience levels are going to vary. I've already met with some of you and talked with some of you. Some of you are more experienced than others, which is great. And you can help me in the class. You can help your students, the other students in the class. I want you to have that mentality that you bring those skills that you know, and bring the things that you've learned along the way to class. It's an open classroom kind of environment. I encourage communication. So I want you to, just to remember that, to focus on practice and progress. Don't focus on perfection. And I like memes. Every now and then I'll share a meme, especially if they're relevant and really funny. So I found this meme. There's a gentleman that I met at one of the meetups, Guy Royce. You might get a chance to meet him too. He's a really nice guy. I saw this on his Facebook page. You can read it. It says, "Doctors, Googling stuff online does not make you a doctor." Programmers. The reason I thought that was really funny is because I actually used to work at medical school at Ohio University, and working with medical students and residents and stuff. But the Googling tends to kind of sort of get a bad rap. I mean, there's no feasible way that you can know all this stuff. And back in the day, like whenever I was in school, we used to have to go to the library and look up textbooks and encyclopedias and articles and journals and stuff like that. It's the exact same thing as Googling it, except the exception is Googling's a lot faster. You don't have to make the trip to the library. You don't have to lug around textbooks. You don't have to read a bunch of articles without having a good idea whether or not this is a relevant article or not. Googling is just a faster way to do everything that we used to do in the old school libraries and stuff. Okay. And that's how doctors become doctors. I'm not saying you should be a doctor by learning everything from Google. But there's reading, there's research, and that's all can be done through Google as well. So there's no shame in Googling stuff. I do it. Sometimes I do it in class if I can't figure out something, like, yeah, let's see what Google says. And this is another one that I thought was kind of funny. Best way to handle any exception. You try something, you catch an error, you go to Stack Overflow, and you just copy the error message. Those are the way that we solve problems. Those are our resources that we have there. Like I said, the old school way used to be going to the library, looking at books, encyclopedias, and reading and articles and stuff. Exact same thing we do with Google. We just do it a lot faster. So this is the biggest thing I want you to make sure that you remember. You practice progress, not perfection. You're not going to get it the first time, maybe second time, or third time. You'll see that I won't get some things. You'll see that I'll have some things that I'm stronger at than others. And that's just the reality of it. And you'll have those things as well. What I tell, students when they come in, have questions or showcases, some students come in saying that knowing that they want to go, after they graduate with their 2-year degree, they want to go straight to workforce. Great. Some students, they don't really know what they want to do, and they're just like, no, they like doing this kind of stuff, but they're not quite sure of their career path yet. Okay, fine. We have some students that, they know what their plans are. They know what their goals are. They want to work for NASA, for, as an extreme example, and they want to get their PhD and master's and all that stuff in computer science. Okay, great. This is a great place to start because you get that experience and that hands-on. But through all of that, no matter what pathway you kind of envision yourself on, I want you to make sure that you practice, focusing on the progress and not the perfection. So I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Have a fabulous day.